Welcome, everyone. It's so lovely to see you. And a special welcome to our new seekers that are here. Please just relax and see if anything that you hear rings a bell for you or hits you right in the heart of truth. I appreciate you even being here. I know how tenuous it is to find a true spiritual path in our world today. It's not an easy matter. I am Sri Gary Olsen and the leader of MasterPath, and yet can I humbly state that I consider myself as just a vehicle. I am not the leader of anything. The Lord and the true Spirit and the true life force are the leaders of all life. And we are all children of this life force, whether we know it or not. Whoever the divine creator is, this is where we all came from. We don't even have to get into names. But we're all children of the same God, the same divine creator. And we all want to get back home in one way or another. So anyone that has a calling or a leaning towards a spiritual life, my hat's off to you. It's not as easy as one thinks. Everyone says they're spiritual, everyone wants to be spiritual, but it takes a long time to really teach you what true spirituality is. And this is what the MasterPath is about, and these are my intentions. There's no way I can give you the gist of MasterPath, even a overview of the path in 50 minutes or an hour. Sometimes I get into trouble trying to do so and start talking too fast or too many different points, and I apologize for that when that happens. But I was a true seeker too at one time and desperately wanted the truth. And I had been told by many ministers and priests and gurus what the truth was. And it's hard to believe them. You want to believe, you want the truth, but then you hear someone that is a leader or reputable talking about the truth, and there can be conflict and disagreement, and different thoughts conflict with one another and different feelings. I just happen to be in the position where I'm talking about the MasterPath and the Light and Sound teachings, and so here I am, one of these supposed leaders, talking to you about spirituality. And yet I can't do anything except just speak the truth and tell you about the truth, try and set an example for the truth. But it's up to you, loved ones, to respond to the truth, to have created a desire for the truth in your life. You're actually the one that holds the key to making any path successful. And so I don't want you to look at me and say, well, here's Sri Gary and he can do miracles and he can change my life. God won't even do that. You've heard the verse where God helps those who help themselves. And this is such a big key. So in all humility, especially those of you that are new, I want you to know that I stand up here with just a heart full of humility and grace and do not want to try and coerce or manipulate you or spin big spiritual tales. Seeking the truth is too serious for that. My Lord, our own life is involved. And we're living with ourselves in this day and age. There's a lot of conflicts. There's a lot of problems. The intelligence of the world is evolving very quickly. And the mind doesn't have all the solutions to the heart of spirit. And so there's conflicts that are created. It's only natural that we should want truth. And yet truth, as simple as it is very difficult. And look at you people out here that want the truth and are searching for a path. What resources are you going to take? Where are you going to go to find the truth? Who can you trust? You see, and it's a very tenuous position. And I realize your position. And I realize how much you want the truth in your life. And I realize how scared and how fearful and skeptical you have become with nearly everybody. The local minister, the pope, the pseudo-gurus. There's so many paths out in the world, and there's so many people yelling at the top of their lungs that this is the way, and this is the truth, and this is what you should do, that I am so hesitant to even go there. There's over 15,000 paths in the world. Now that's a big number. I wonder if there's even this many true seekers in the world. You know that old saying that there's more gurus than there are students? Excuse me? And everyone, the mind and ego wants to be a guru, and they want to be a leader, and they want to influence people, and yet they really don't even know what responsibilities lie with such a statement. The truth of the matter is every one of you are at a certain spot in your evolvement back to God. Every one of you is going to be drawn to a particular teaching. Our world is famous for saying, okay, tell me which path is true and which one is false, and so I can go with the true one. Well, according to the divine creator, all paths have value. Every one of them. That's like saying, if I can use an analogy to get my point across, someone's looking at the 12 grades of education and they say, okay, Sri Gary, just tell me which one is true. Is it the first grade? Is it the 5th, the 7th, the 9th, the 10th? Which one is it? And that's the one I'll enroll into. And I'll become a truth seeker and I'll get back to God. Well, if a master is really responsible and really wants to disseminate the truth, he can't come in and say, well, you're all ready for 10th grade. No, that's just not the way it really is. Everyone's at a different level. We have people just coming into the human body and experiencing life for the first time. It's rather a primitive level of intelligence, but nevertheless, they've entered the human body for the first time. There's others that have been incarnating into human form for millions of years and have evolved themselves through level after level, chakra after chakra, and are ready for a much higher level of truth. There's other people that have nearly finished their sojourn on this planet and have spent innumerable lifetimes pursuing truth. And those are the ones that, of course, earn and have the right to get into a higher form of teaching. So to come in here and for the new seekers here and say, okay, here's MasterPath, this is what you need to do, this is what you should do. Will you please understand, I don't want to do that, nor am I trying to do that. Spirituality is an issue of the heart. You must be ready to walk a path of light and sound, such as the MasterPath. Now, for those of you that are new, there's nothing catchy about this word. This was a word that I came up with, the MasterPath. Yes, it's a path. Yes, it has a master, but this is still not what it points to. What it points to is this is a path of light and sound that leads to your own mastership. This is the supreme goal of any light and sound doctrine. Now that may be a little elevated for some of you, but in the light and sound path, which MasterPath is, if I can just briefly give you a few ideas, light and sound path has the ideal goals of self and God realization. Just finding out who you are is the first command to all spirituality. Know thyself, the realization of the self. There's very few paths in our world that offer self-realization. The second command is God realization, which is rather abstruse at this point, but it means attaining your own mastership. Like Jesus the Christ said one time, ye too are the sons of God. Ye too are the sons of God. Not just him, but you too. And so a true light and sound path is the process of realizing your own divine energy, allowing it to rise up through the bodily chakras and get into your third eye, which is right between your two physical eyes. And from there, ascending through the levels of heaven. There's 5 distinct levels of heaven. We're living on this plane, and when you can get to the astral plane, that's the first level of heaven. And it goes on up, all the way on up. Each level distinctly more spiritual than the one below it, and we gradually ascend and evolve until we have attained self-realization here and God realization here. Now, those of you who are new, I may have already lost you. And I feel a little uncomfortable about that. But anyway, MasterPath deals with the light and sound teachings, and it deals with self and God realization. Okay, just very briefly, I have to say this. Someone says, Gary, light and sound teaching. What do you mean, light and sound teaching? And briefly, a light teaching is one that deals with the mind at one level or another, and there's many, many, many levels of the mind. For example, there's our conscious mind, there's our subconscious mind, and there's our unconscious mind. Okay, and the mind has existence at every one of these chakras in the body. So I would say that probably 14,995 paths in the world of this 15,000 paths deal with the light, or in other words, deals with the mind in one degree or another. A sound path, sound representing the Holy Spirit at an extraordinarily high level of vibration. And it is the sound path that deals with the soul. Now, this is in contradistinction to your mind. A sound path deals with the soul. A light path deals with the mind. Now, we have truth seekers that have come here, and you're of course, investigating the MasterPath. You want to check out its leader. You want to check out some of the people that are here. That's very well and fine. But the biggest distinction that I can give you to assist you in your journey, I want to assist you, is that MasterPath deals with the resurrection of the soul. And this is what we call the consciousness. It does not deal with adorning the mind. It doesn't deal with mental acrobatics. It doesn't deal with high IQs and honing our mind into an extraordinarily high level of activity. A true spiritual path has the objective of quelling and stilling the mind, so one's own soul can come out, and that this very soul that we have can take dominion over our entire life. And if you don't walk away with anything else from this meeting, if you can just walk away with the idea or the concept that a light and sound path deals with the soul, and your traditional paths, no disrespect intended or meant, deals with the mind. That's a huge, huge distinction. And this is why spirituality is in such a funk in our world, and why there's so much diversity and conflict and competition between all of the paths. Take, for example, your monotheistic religions, Christianity, Buddhism, Islam, Hinduism. Okay? They are in total conflict with one another. The Christians, of course, everyone's going to hell but the Christians, and the Buddhists, of course, believe in Buddha and their divine principles. The Muslims, well, if you're not a Muslim, you're an infidel. And the Hindus, of course, are definitely into Krishna and the laws of karma and their principles. But each one feels that they are correct, which is fine. But what isn't fine is they're at the throats of each other. Now, MasterPath is not in agreement with this because you have people that are in the first grade, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. All these people are in life. They all have a soul, and they're all on their way back to God. And so you cannot say this group is right and the others are wrong. You just cannot go there. Now, even though many, many people do, and I refuse to go there. And I want you to know, especially you seekers that are here, whatever you end up being drawn to is sacred. You must have that freedom. If someone is here and they listen to what I have to say and are open-minded and let's just say they're turned off or they just don't relate to anything that's being said, that's wonderful. There's no sin in that. You're not going to get any bad vibes from me. There is a path out there that is waiting for you, that is right for you, and would be conducive to your own spiritual evolvement to get on that path. Be patient, because the path will show itself. There's some of you who have liquidated large amounts of your karma and have just stores and stores of good karma that you have accrued over many, many lives. And there's some of you that are going to use this good karma to get on a spiritual path. Some of you are going to hear about the MasterPath and what the Master has to say about it, and you're just going to be enthralled with what you hear, and an undeniable magnetism will be created in your heart, and you'll just like, even if you don't like me, you'll have to follow. Because it's not about me, it's about you and your spirituality. And everyone's at a different level. So there's no judgment. I want to be totally open-minded with you. And loved ones, everything is okay. It's okay. We're told that, no, just this is okay and everything else is bad. And we get caught into this terrible black and white conceptual theory, and we place it on everything. Well, it's either bad or it's good. Which one is it? And I could go into a long lecture on just this principle of duality and how we live in the world of duality, but it would just take too long. Anyway, a lot of you have had good karma, and you can't even walk a truly spiritual path, and I hope I have differentiated between a spiritual path. There's light and there's sound. Now, I say this with respect, okay? I'm saying this with respect. True spirituality cannot be embraced by the mind. The mind can look at spirituality. It can remain on the periphery of the doctrine and examine it. It can try and reason with logic what the tenets are, and it tries to figure it out, but the mind just can't get it. It just can't enter it and be it and live it. It's a professional at examining things, looking at them, and it's supposed to assist our consciousness in deriving and eventually getting at the truth. This is a big distinction. A light path deals with the mind, and the mind is the creator of illusions. Once again, I'm saying this respectfully. So when I say those of you that have good karma and you are eligible for a spiritual path, I am meaning a sound path. Now here's the major distinction between a light path and a sound path. If you have a legitimate teacher, a legitimate master, then this master, whether you believe it or not, has the ability to initiate you into this sound current. If it's not a true master, a self-appointed master, then they have the ability to initiate you into some vibration of the mind. Now, there's many spiritual paths that only deal with the light, and the mind can evolve in numerous degrees, just numerous. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You can get to the astral plane in your mind. That's 9. Here's 10. And here's 11 right here. This is the zenith of the mind. This is the highest the mind can go. And we would call this the unconscious mind. In the East, they call it the Nijmanas, meaning the original mind. This is where you have heard of cosmic consciousness. This is the supreme attainment of the mind. And there are many beautiful paths that espouse these ideals and expound on their glories and say this is the top of the spiritual ladder. Now, a true master or a true saint that's been commissioned by the Lord has the power to initiate one into the sound. What differs here is instead of the mind being aroused, the very soul is aroused. And it's resurrected from the tomb of the body. And it gradually is released from the body consciousness, moves inward to the first level of heaven, the second, the third, and moves up here, shedding the lower minds as it ascends. And for those of you that are confused about that, when the soul starts vibrating in your body, wonderful, wonderful things start to happen. For those of you that are checking out this path, the heck with this path, but not the heck with this principle. If you really, really want the truth and spirit, can I lovingly and unassumingly recommend that you find a path that deals with the soul of man and not the mind. This is the real conflict in spirituality. If you get a true master that can arouse your soul from the tomb of your body and get your soul as your true identity, which takes a number of initiations and a number of years to do, you will find that your spirituality will flourish and blossom just in the most wonderful, wonderful way. Okay.